Wow! 82-0. I don't know what else to tell you, Ryan. We're on our way to destiny. I don't know if I like being the most wins ever in an NBA regular season. We all know what happened to that team, but hey, we're on our way, baby. Let's go. What a start for the Cavs. They beat the Warriors and a game on Saturday where, yeah, man, chalk it up. That's all right. Had a great start. Here we go. But they still find a way to keep this thing rolling. Double digits, 11-0. They go for 12-0 tonight, which, frankly, you should get against the Chicago Bulls. We get to our parlay a little bit later on the show, but what a start for the wine and gold. There's a lot that you can look at and really like about what this Cavs team is bringing. We'll get ready for the game tonight. We got a lot of Cavs to get to this morning as well. Browns, the bye week is meant to be a little bit of a refresher. Do you feel refreshed this morning? Dude, you watch these games over this past weekend and you see teams that are truly in just different times, I guess. It seems like they play a different game. Well, we got a lot of interesting things to talk about with the Browns this morning. First off, Jack Duffin. We'll get Jack on this week. Super interesting article exactly about the Browns cap situation for next year, where they sit with Watson, what they're rolling over. And we'll discuss this a little bit about what you want to see out of the Browns for these remaining 8 games. NFL playoff tiers. No, not those tiers. We're going to list those on out. Contenders, believers, fakers. We'll run through that whole list as well as we geared up for today. Fresh week of the grid. We'll get to time up. We got the morning update. We'll get to the bracket this week. We got it all. Jeremiah friends at Fairway Ford right here on Big Play. Welcome to the show, everybody. I am Matt Fontana. He is Ryan Tyler. Good morning and a very, very happy Veterans Day to everyone out there. Send that text to the veterans in your lives. Listen, man, and ladies, we're not perfect, all right? This country is far from perfect, but we're still the best country in the world, all right? Let's not lose sight of that. There are men and women out there that some have given lives, some have given a lot to protect our country, and today and every day, they deserve our respect. So for today, it's all the veterans out there in your lives. Send that text. Say thank you for what you've done. We appreciate your service. A very happy Veterans Day to everybody out there. Again, whether you did serve, you are a part of serving, you're a part of a family. You know, I think that's sometimes too, the people that have had family members go over that, how hard that can be. To have a wife or a husband or a mom or a dad or somebody that is over there fighting for our country or even, you know, stateside, all that, to all our veterans out there. We thank you so much. We wouldn't be able to do this weird radio content show that we do every day. I say it, Ryan, we do this because we live in a free country, because of the people that have made the ultimate sacrifice and people that did do everything they could to keep our country safe. So we're not perfect, but we're still the best damn country in the world. So we thanked all the veterans out there today. Thank them every day, but especially today. We're up on Twitter X at Matt Fontana Show. Did you know there's a new chat feature in there? You can chat the show. You always do it on YouTube. We get a lot of YouTube comments. You can now do it on Twitter.
That's been a thing.
Has it?
That's been a thing.
I just noticed that today.
No, that's
I just noticed that today.
That's been there quite a while.
Oh, so Ryan's seen them, and they're you know, welcome to Twitter, I guess. But
no, I mean, nobody really, they don't utilize it like YouTube.
YouTube is better. YouTube is fat. You can follow us on YouTube. We're at Big Play. We're also up on Instagram. We got it all cooking for it on a Monday.
Like, you can see it on the screen. Obviously, they can't, but you're talking about this, right?
Yeah, that thing in the corner. I saw it.
Yeah,
and I was like, I didn't know that. I didn't know that was there.
Yeah, that's been here.
Somebody drops a chat there on the YouTube side, or on the Twitter side. I just want to see what it looks like. Somebody drop us one. I'm just going to stare at it the rest of the show until somebody messages something.
Yeah, it's been a thing for quite a while.
I had no idea. I had no idea. Twitter a little broken. The purge of followers right now post the election. I think a lot of people have been hit by that. But drop us a follow there. Drop us a comment, if you will, on the Twitter side of things. I only got one comment, and it is Cavs! Is the record in play?
Oh, we got a chat. Mike said, "Oh, I didn't."
Hey,
know.
Mike, yeah, there you go. I didn't know that was the thing either, Mike. There we go. Thank you very much. There it is. That's what it looks like. Is 73 in play? We need 74 is what we need. Is it in play?
It has to be. At this
Are you
point.
believing it?
I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say it's going to happen, but mathematically, you're on track.
You're on your way. You're on your way. I think the bigger thing that I look at from this Cavs team is you are that much closer to a top 3. You know, it was so funny because I thought about this question too of like, have you recalibrated your expectations? And if you really want to be negative on it, it's early in the season. I don't think you can stand on the, well, you haven't played anybody yet. That's not true at all. You've played some good teams. You've beaten the teams you're supposed to beat. You're at this point. Great. But I just wonder if you've thought about recalibrating things on what you expect for this team. I'm going to stand pat and I say I still truly believe that this team is going to be in the Eastern Conference Finals this year. I like the style of play they have. I love the camaraderie, and I like that on any given night you have different people showing up. Here's my true take on this. Their over-under set was at 48.5. They're going to demolish that. They're going to demolish that, okay? But think about this, Ryan. You are a sixth of the way to being just a 20-loss team. That's number one seed area. You have built a lead already. And I know it's not like baseball necessarily where you're counting how many games and all that kind of stuff. But just for what I see set up for this Cavs team, again, 50 wins, took the over like we did, a fifth of the way already. All right, we're demolishing this. Now I'm starting to set my sights a little bit higher on maybe a number one seed, maybe a number two seed. And I'd like where the Cavs are at from this standpoint. They're playing their brand of basketball, okay? Eventually, they're going to lose a game. I don't think it's going to be tonight, but they're going to lose a game. There's a little area of me that is excited to see the turn or the adjustment that the league will inevitably make to the Cavs, because I want to see what they have for that. I want to see what this team can maybe even pivot a little bit more. As great as they're playing, all the stats about the points put up and the undefeated, okay, that's all great. There's another level that I think can be unlocked. At least I hope it's still there, because that comes back to, I hope we haven't seen the best basketball from this team. I hope there's still more that Kenny Atkinson can get out of this squad. Do I want to get there in December? Not necessarily, but that's just where the vibes are high. You're feeling good about this team. And I thought about this for our Twitter question this morning. We got to come up with our answers. What is the best part of this Cavs start? What is your favorite thing about this Cavs 11-0, staring down the barrel at 12-0 tonight? What is your favorite thing of this start with the Cavs? And I think okay, number one, I say the players, but I want to be more specific on that, right? Do you want to say diverse scoring? Like, here's what I'm thinking. The pace has been great. Kenny Atkinson might be an answer on this thing.
Yeah, he's got to be.
The depth, I think that's another great part of this. The depth. You have Ty Jerome. You've got Sam Merrill. My guy Karras still putting up good minutes. Like, there's so much depth to this team. You have, I mean, how can we not put in Darius Garland as his own thing? He's got to be his own thing. Like, the fact that he has had this comeback this early in the season to shut me up, and I think shut a lot of people up that had concerns about it. Darius Garland's got to have that. Anything else you want to throw in? Atkinson, the roster depth, Garland's comeback here. I mean,
Evan Mobley, I guess. Right?
Scoring, offense in general.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you're putting up 130 points like it's your job.
Yeah, I mean, and you can always tweet us back, like, do you like Jared Allen's blocks? There is some of the defense. I guess, yeah, Evan Mobley, I would just say the offense.
And just put other and have them comment.
Now we can do that as well. Put offense in there. And then you could always comment with other. You like how the offense is running right now. Because part of that is Kenny Atkinson, and that might get the vote on the offense, but the players are still showing up. You have Donovan go off when he needs to. You're still getting your pretty much 20 a night from Darius Garland. The offensive input there from Jared Allen, Evan Mobley. It's a lot. There it goes. At Matt Fontana Show. Drop us a follow there and vote on our Twitter question. What's your favorite thing about this Cavs start right now? We didn't even put in what I'm going to vote, Ryan.
Comment it.
I'm going to comment on it. Let me do that. I can't tweet and talk at the same time. I can't do a lot of things. Honestly, my vote is the culture. Is my culture. I love, and I guess then at that point, that vote goes to Kenny Atkinson. Yeah. That vote would be for Kenny Atkinson because he unlocked guys that were already here. You didn't go out and make some huge splash and bring in this guy. And I think in the NBA, really any sport, but especially the NBA, your culture can get ruined pretty quick. right? You bring in this guy, he doesn't fit, he's a malcontent, whatever's going on. And culture is important to any team. But I see what Kenny Atkinson has brought, and I continue to dive into that this team has fun playing alongside one another. They're in this together. There's not this underwhelming, or this underlying, I should say, situation. I'm like, yeah, but one of these guys are going to be traded, or we still really need this piece here. Or another great part, this guy's sitting there going, I need my contract. I need my money. Like, all of your guys are paid. And for the other group of, I guess Sam Merrill and Karis LeVert to a point, yeah, they're playing because they need money. Ryan, the core of your team cannot be torn down by their contract situation right now. Everybody has gotten their money, and Kobe Altman has made it work with multiple max deals. And it's interesting because I'll tie this back to the Browns for a quick second. When everybody sat there and said, well, they can't do all of these, all these guys can't get paid. Well, everybody got paid. And yeah, you got to sometimes make the sacrifices in other spots, but that's where how the depth and the bench, and part of our Twitter question this morning, has stepped up. You're going to need guys that elevate their contract. Any team in any sport has a group of guys that elevate past their contract. Donovan Mitchell is worth more than his contract right now. I'm happy to say that Darius Garland is back to earning his contract. Nobody's going to sit there and be upset that this guy's getting paid, or I need to make my money, or he's taking this. Like, that's why I come back to the culture, the vibe that I get from this team. That's my favorite thing. So we didn't even put it in the poll. I had to respond. My favorite thing is the culture and the feel of this Cavs team. They're together. They're together in how they play. And I feel like I don't need to get sentimental on it, but I feel like they're all friends. I feel like they all get along. And if they had to focus some of that negative energy to say JB Bickerstaff was the fall guy, or they're going to say, hey, man, let's bottle this up about they wanted Jared Allen traded and they wanted Darius Garland traded. Like, let's prove all these guys wrong. That's great. That's gotten you to this point. Now, I want that carrot at the end of the stick to say, how long can you keep this win streak going? And I don't want it to be a detriment of you're playing guys too many minutes. That's another great part of this, right? Would you, would you just smack Warriors? Oh, that felt so good. Dude, did I say on my Friday night real quick? Shout out to my boy Dan, Great Lakes Brewing Company. We love garage beer, but we went to go, our family, my wife's family, 8 of us, we all go to Great Lakes Brewing Company to get our first Christmas sale. We get in the car, because we had to get the kids to bed and all that kind of stuff. I get in the car, and Tim Alcorn says the score. And I look at my wife and I go, did he just say we're up 17?
Yeah.
And she goes, I think he did. And I pulled up my phone and I go, oh my God. We get to Great Lakes Brewing Company. The TV is in the corner, just bang, splash, done. And I was like, this is the greatest basketball game ever. This is awesome. You are in this streak right now. Donovan Mitchell's not playing 37 minutes a game. You're not having a hard workload for these guys right now. They're efficient. And I'm going to go back to Friday for just a second. That's another thing about the culture. That game told me a little bit of like, when this team is focused and they say, we want to put this down, they're going to put it down. And they were up by 40 at most of that game, and they let them get back within 20. Okay, fine, whatever. You smoked them. You absolutely 7-1 at the time, basketball team, and you ran them out of the gym. That was JV varsity level stuff. Now, what I like, again, that you didn't have to exert a lot of your guys, but like the focus, the carrot at the end of the stick, to keep these guys motivated, to keep them going. I look at other teams that should be. Do you think the Knicks are having a lot of fun right now? The Bucks, I know, are not having a lot of fun right now. That's what I like. You're building this base. As you layer on as this season goes on, you are starting with a base of these guys together. You know what it's supposed to look like. That's going to help us come February. It's going to help you come March. And dare I say, once we eventually get to the playoffs, to fall back to go, guys, this is what it looks like. When we need to play the way that the Cavs finally have branded basketball. I feel like we lost that last year a little bit with the injuries, but even the first year with Donovan Mitchell, like, okay, you're a great defensive team, right? And that's what's going to carry us. That's a little bit against the grain of what you want in the NBA. Now, you're playing solid defense, but I see an offense on what Kenny Atkinson wants to run. Fall back on that. Combo that with a really good roster and a motivated team. Ryan, the sky is the limit right now for this team. And it's so much fun. This is so great. And I'm not one that is worried about a streak, because the other side of it, when you are solely focused on that, when that 2016 Warriors were pushing to get that wins, yeah, they made the finals and they had the, only one time come back from 3-1, right? I love it. But people were all concerned. Oh, they were too focused on that. They didn't like that they were selling out basically to get all these wins and then they couldn't show up. I'm not worried about any of that right now. I'm not. And just keep going. And eventually, yes, you're going to lose. You're going to lose a game. I don't know what it's going to look like. That'll be fine. But there's just nothing wrong with the Cavs right now. It is so much fun. And then that win over the Nets, too. You're getting your best shot. You have now become the team when the Nets are playing you. They're down. They don't have some of their best guys. Sure, fine. But you see, you got their best shot. You handled that. You came out at the end. And don't you see a Cavs team with about 5 minutes to go that doesn't panic? They don't worry. And I think it's in part that they know they're in a great spot. They have already racked up all these wins this far. They don't have a reason to feel pressure, but they still go out and perform. And they still see the value in getting some of these wins. Bro, it's all good with the Cavs right now. I love this. It's so much fun.
Yeah, and I'm voting Kenny Atkinson for my answer.
Yeah, I like that. I like it a lot.
I mean, you don't just luck your way into one of the best starts in NBA history, right? And, I mean, when you talk about the culture, you have a group of guys, the head coach included, that are all pretty similar in terms of their playoff, experience, what they've been able to accomplish. They're all hungry, right? Kenny Atkinson's never coached a head coach of a playoff team before. Donovan Mitchell's gone to the playoffs in Utah and here a couple times. Not much success outside of last year's series. DG, same way. Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, even Karis LeVert, Ty Jerome, all these bench guys. They're out there to prove something. They are yet to make their mark on the NBA really like they want to. And you can see the way that they're playing, that's being translated to the court.
Yeah, and it's the thing. Atkinson, what a hire that seems to be, right? Like that was, and I know that Brian is here and they talk to other guys and whatever, and it seemed pretty clear that Kenny Atkinson was their number one target in this whole thing, and they get him to come here. Match made in heaven. And it's also interesting that, again, the big focus was about what he was going to do with Evan Mobley, and Evan's had a great start to the season too, but it's this fact that it's like, it's everything right now. And it's rare that one move can set you up for failure or success. And right now for the Cavs, it seems to be that one move has set you up for success. Now, beyond that, Darius Garland is back healthy, and he's shown to be the all-star that he's been. But, like, I'm not trying to be hyperbole about this. Like, that is one of the greatest, at this point, it's one of the best coaching hires I've seen in this town in quite some time. Stephen Vogt seems to be up there. Kevin Stefanski. Trust me, Ryan, I've seen a lot of bad ones. I didn't like the David Blatt hire. I really wasn't a fan of the Mike Brown the second time around. Randy Whitman. Remember him? That's before your time.
Yeah,
before your time was Randy Whitman.
Randy Whitman?
Yeah, Randy Whitman. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, never heard of him.
Guardians obviously had Terry for so long, and I didn't want to run through the Browns list. But, like, this is one of the best coaching hires at this point that I've seen in my time of being a Cavs Cleveland fan. And trust me, we're 11 games in. Want to pump the brakes a little bit, but I'm not going to do it. We got plenty more Cavs to get to. Want to dive into some Browns as well. NFL playoff tiers from ESPN. And, of course, Jack Duffin's article on the Browns salary cap situation getting into next season. But we got to tell you about our friends at Fairway Ford. Talking about salary cap, if you will. Everybody's got a budget. You see it right there. The F-150 sale right now at Fairway Ford. $12,000 off, up to $12,000 off with an APR as low as 1.9% on that F-150. You got to go see Fairway Ford. Start with the website, fairwayfordohio.com, and you'll see that beautiful list of the F-150s. You need the SXT. You want the Raptor. You want any of it. They got you there at Fairway Ford. And again, up to $12,000 off. It's a short drive to Canfield. Ryan, I'd make a drive to Canfield to save me up to $10,000 or $12,000 on an F-150. They are the largest Ford dealership in the state of Ohio. That means they've got the inventory, but they got the deals. They got what you need. And trust me, the Ford product is amazing. I'm a Ford family. I'm driving an Explorer. I've been Ford most of my life, right? And there's a lot of great Ford dealerships in Northeast Ohio. Go with the one that's going to help you out the most, and that's going to be Fairway Ford. They've got it all for you. They've got the great APR rates, which are so important as well. And now's a fantastic time. Winter's going to be here before you know it. You need that four-wheel drive. You need something for work. The balance. My wife and I have that conversation a lot because I really wanted to get a truck. And so what about the kids? And I was like, quad cab, crew cab, the bed, put a tonneau cover on that. All their stuff goes in the back. I think about it, dude. They got it all for you at Fairway Ford with the F-150s, the sales going on. They're getting ready for the 2025s coming in. They got you covered there. So tell them we sent you. You can go right to their website. They have a chat feature. You want to start doing your research. You want to build out your truck before you even get there. Go peruse their pre-owned lot as well. It's all for you at Fairway Ford. Make sure you tell them we sent you. They're going to take care of you. At the end of the day, they have great vehicles with great people and great deals. That's what you need. You're looking for three things when you go look for a vehicle. You're looking for the customer service, you're looking at the vehicle itself, and you're looking at the deals. And they know that at Fairway Ford. And they also know when you make that drive out there, you're making a commitment. And they're going to meet you there halfway as well. They're going to get you in that vehicle, that gene, with the best APR, the best money off that they can. Deals are flying right now. Don't sit there in a month and go, man, I really should have called them. I really should have entered their website. I should have seen what they had cooking for you. FairwayFordOhio.com. That's their website. Check them out with our friends at Fairway Ford. All right, want to flip over to the Browns for a second. So, do you feel any rejuvenation coming out of the bye? I want to ask you this more. We're out of the bye. You know, the jokes are aplenty that, the bye was favored and all. We didn't have anybody get arrested. Had to deal with that a lot for my career covering the Browns. You had to worry about that. We're back. Do you feel any different today, Ryan, than we did last week?
I don't think so.
Okay.
In what way would I feel different? More hopeful?
Not hopeful. I guess just a fresh picture because I wake up today and I do feel different. All right, everybody probably watched a lot of football yesterday. You see some amazing games, and there's an innate feeling of like, man, they're playing a different game. Like you watch what the Lions had to overcome last night. You watch the freaking. How do they do that?
Unreal, dude.
How do they do that?
I'm telling you, worst undefeated team this late in the season.
I don't know.
I'm telling you.
But I like all that aside.
Taylor Swift, black magic.
Her boy got in the end zone yesterday. Felt good about that, I'm sure. I do feel a little bit different where now I think we were all angry. I think we were all frustrated. We were all upset. The bye week really did provide me with just all right, this is the situation we're in. There's nothing we can change about the contract, the win total. We're here. We're in it. We got to deal with it, right? Okay, fine. Let's take our step forward now. And that's kind of why I feel a little bit different today. I know there's 8 games to go. The playoffs are not happening. And the debate will rage, and we'll probably do this our Twitter question tomorrow. Do you want them to tank it on up? And you know what you had yesterday? You had quite a few teams competing with us for picks, get wins. Panthers got that win. Saints. Oh, my God.
I don't know which, dude. I don't even know who's the worst team in the NFL anymore.
What did I say on Friday? That was a lock. I said there was no way the Falcons were going to lose that game when they did. So you actually got helped out a little bit. That was my lock. Was it not my lock on Friday?
You should have known better.
I should have known
Dennis
better.
Allen got fired.
The coach resurgence thing. I guess I didn't really.
Antonio Pierce last year.
Yeah, that is true. They did go on that run. You got helped out from that yesterday, but now you sit here and you ask yourself, all right, where do you go from here? The thing that I continue to come back to, and even seeing college football, right, where Miami, Georgia, all that, I really had a fresh look on saying, I felt this way prior, and I'm going to feel it again. Win as many games as you can. I want Cam Ward. Shedeur Sanders would be nice. There's no, and I guess you say this at any point, there's no can't miss prospect, right? You can't sit there and just say, yep, this guy's coming out, and he's going to be a bona fide star and all that kind of stuff. I just continue to go win as many games as you can, even at the possible detriment of making your pick. There's going to be other players, offensive line, wide receivers. I'm at this point, and I'm sure the team is too. I can't go 8 more games and just try to pack this in. I can't go in and say, well, we're going to evaluate this guy. I'm sure Dorian Thompson-Robinson is going to play. Right? Bailey Zappi will probably start a game for you at some point this season. You know, the other nagging part of it, a conversation I was having with somebody yesterday, do you start packing up some of the players? Denzel Ward's got concussion problems. Myles Garrett still has his feet issues. Nick Chubb's coming off a massive injury. Is that going to start weighing on the minds of the Browns to say maybe we start to sit some of these guys? Well, not now. Not now. I'm going to take this for every little week that I can. You got a Saints team up in reserve. We had damn well better win Sunday. They used their magic yesterday. All right, they got it. Okay? They are an inferior team. They are an inferior team. And I'll call my shot right now before we get to our picks on Friday. Ryan, the Browns are winning on Sunday.
Oh, God.
They are winning on Sunday. They are winning on Sunday. I feel completely positive about that.
I don't think so.
Oh, yeah. They're going to win Sunday. They used their magic up yesterday. That's it. They're going to go back to being a bad football team. And I'm not saying that we're not a bad football team either, but that's where we're at. So I also sit here and I think about where do you go with the contract? And it was perfect timing this morning from an article from Jack Duffin, Orange and Brown, OBR. We're going to get Jack on this week to talk about it. Because so much of this season is like, all right, you got to play this out. But it's the inevitability of what are they going to do with Deshaun Watson. We did that on Friday's show. The paths on the way out of this, right? Where I think Watson's coming back, and I think there's actually a chance he plays again. All these situations are still on the table for the Cleveland Browns. But inherently, Andrew Berry's going to sit down, and he's going to run the numbers that Jack did and see exactly where we sit with the salary cap. I want to run through this. So go follow Jack on Twitter, @JackDuffin. All right, here we go. First up, your salary cap rollover. If the Browns do nothing, they're going to roll over a little over $46 million of their salary cap to next season. Then we get to the projected salary cap. Right now, it's projected somewhere around $272 to $275 million, which Jack thinks that it's going to be $275 million salary cap for the NFL next season. So if you add those numbers up, the Browns will be operating with almost $319 million worth of salary cap for next season. As things stand in this exact moment, the Browns have 39 players under contract next year that will cost them $275 million. So their salary cap is exactly maxed out. It's what you have to roll over. Here are the players: Watson, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, Jerome Ford, Pierre Strong, Judy Tillman, Bell Thrashed, Njoku, Conklin Jones, Bitonio Teller, Zinter, Posick, Luke Whippler, Myles Garrett, Obo Okoronkwo, Alex Wright, Isaiah McGuire, Tomlinson, Harrison Hall, JOK, Hicks, Diabate, and Watson, the linebacker, Ward, Newsome, Emerson, Mitchell, and Harden in the secondary, Thornhill, Delpit, Hickman, Bojorquez, Hopkins, Hewlett, Rex Sunahara. Those are all the guys that are under contract for next season. That totals almost $276. Here's your dead cap hits. 22 for Cooper, 14 for Za'Darius, Jefferson, Ika, Bell, Nathaniel Watson added up. Almost $40 million of dead cap. Then we get to the big thing. The restructures. By the way, you're also going to need about $17 million worth of draft picks that you'll make. Here are the restructures that Jack writes about potentially being done to save him the money. Number one, Deshaun Watson. Ward, Teller, Conklin, Tomlinson, Newsome, and Posick. All potential restructures. If you restructure all of them, you create $71 million worth of cap space. Here's Jack's final write-up. Their budget, $319. Players, draft picks, other contracts, dead cap with the restructures. That leaves you a net balance of $41 million that you could go out and either spend or use to redo deals. And a lot of that, he brings up a Jed Wills extension. Don't laugh. Like, if you want to get your money saved up, you could extend some of these guys. You could extend Greg Newsome and spread the money out a little bit more. The conclusion that Jack gets to, The 41 might seem like a small amount, right? When you could go out and pay 25 for one player for a year. When everyone's desperate to paint a picture of doom and gloom on where the Browns roster stands, the truth doesn't seem to match. When they can spend up to $200 million improving the team this off-season. He says, I don't expect them to spend that much, but they have the freedom to do so. I thought that was interesting today on getting ready for the rest of the season, where Jack is right. We kind of sat here and like doom and gloom, and this sucks, and what are we going to do? He's actually painting an era of positivity to say they've got options to move this offseason. Now, what's the big elephant in this whole room? Are you going to restructure Deshaun Watson again? Does that preclude you to having to keep him around here any longer? I'm going to take a piece of positivity out of that. The Browns know they can do nothing, and I don't think will do anything to keep him here any longer than they have to. The writing is on the wall. You've seen it all. They're going to make moves on what is the best financial sense for the Cleveland Browns. And I want to say this too. No matter what, you're going to have a full draft class coming in here. Now, you need Andrew Berry to hit on those picks, and you want to feel good about them coming in. But the reinforcements, I feel like, are there for the Cleveland Browns. Why not go out and win? Why not go out there and try to keep it together? You're going to have your core players out there. And frankly, just for you and me to be able to watch, man, I'm not trying to go out there and go 1-7 the rest of the way. Pick up his men, and there's a good chance they could try to win all these games and still only get 2. You know, the over-under has been updated to 4.5. People don't even see that, Ryan. They don't even see 3 more wins for this team to try to push the over. I think they're going to win 2. I think they got 2 more. Maybe another fluke one. I don't know. I think they got 2 more coming for them. But yeah, once you get to the offseason and what they're going to do with Watson's contract, I don't know, just reading that, hearing that from Jack, do you get a little more positivity on things?
I mean, yes and no. I mean, I'm just so sick of hearing and talking about money and cap space because it's all for nothing if you can't give it to the right people. And that's what the Browns have failed to do in a lot of areas. And we're going to be constricted by this for at least, like, what are we talking about? At least you're going to feel the effects of this even longer than just a couple of years. And it's just so frustrating. You're the most expensive most expensive offense in the NFL, and you look like you're the worst offense in the NFL.
Yeah.
And it's just right now, to me, talking about money and the cap and all these issues, it's like in the back of my mind because there's so much to figure out with this team, and it starts with who's running it. And that doesn't even matter for the cap.
So none of the bye week has really kind of settled any of that for you.
No, I
the
mean,
Stefanski, the Barry, it's still on the forefront.
It's another week of watching other teams succeed and realizing just how far you are from what they're able to do. I got that vibe
yesterday too.
And the worst part of it is, you remember not too long ago, pre-Deshaun Watson, how close you were to that level, and it seemed like at one point you were finally at that level.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's revisionist history. You bring it back here, and the hard thing is, it's not going to be easy. And I said that when this all started, right when Watson got hurt, I go, this isn't over. This is not over. As much as we'd like to wake up after the bye week and sit there and say, all right, well, at least we can turn a page, you can't. You're still in the middle of this whole thing. And it's just how I operate, man. I'm going to try to find the positives. I'm going to try to find the right path out of this thing. And it's, that is different for some people where they want the revisionist history because they want their pound of flesh. They want to know who to bitch at. They want to know who to yell at about why this went bad or why this didn't work here. It doesn't really serve a purpose to me. It does not really serve a purpose to me. What's done is done. I'm also not in the position of evaluating and making the decisions on who to fire or not because I don't know the whole story. The Andrew Berry crux comes back to what? Was he the one that traded for Deshaun Watson or not? If he did, I don't know how he still has a job. If he didn't, then you got to say, then this draft is pretty much going to tell the story on if you should be the GM moving forward or not. We got to give you that opportunity. Kevin Stefanski, I feel like is safe because I've seen him win before. I know he can do it with a lot of different players, and you got to believe that he can be the guy to take you to that next era of hopefully winning football. That's all I got. And the bye week did provide me just with a little bit of that, like, I'm going to say relief, but it's just like, okay, you're here. the situation that we're in, it's not good. And I just don't want to keep beating my head against the wall on this kind of stuff, which is hard because there's no quick fix. There's nothing that they can do next week to get this figured out. So that's why I wanted to go to the cap to sit here and say, is this all just, are they able to get out of the Deshaun Watson thing? Are they really going to be able to find a way to do that? By the way, just looking at that, no, you can't. And Jack writes, there are some lingering things. Does Joel Bitonio retire? Do they trade Greg Newsome? Do they release Juan Thornhill? There's a bunch of stuff that they can do to create even more space. He's running the numbers. How can he not be? And it comes back to, is there a feasible way to bite the bullet and get rid of him right after this season? I don't see it. I could be wrong, but I don't think that happens right now. And I almost would like to say, yeah, we need to kind of set that aside right now. And also, part of the deal that he wrote in here is that include re-signing a guy like Jameis Winston. I hope so, but he's going to ask for more money because you believe he might be a starter in this whole thing, or at least your bridge guy. You're going to have to bring in somebody to do that. I don't think you're just rolling over Dorian Thompson-Robinson unless, you know what? What's the easiest thing? You draft a quarterback with your first pick, wherever that is, whoever might be available, you take a quarterback and you say, no matter what, we're starting this guy. He's on the cheap, and he provides you a little hope that he can be the guy for a franchise quarterback moving forward. That's the most easy, succinct thing to do. I don't get there for another 6 months. I don't get there for another 6 months. And you still got a lot of games to play.
I mean, but if you're not getting Shador or Cam, you're not just going to draft. You can't just.
You don't like Carson Beck anymore?
No, you can't just draft a quarterback to draft one. That's the problem.
Well, a lot of teams have done that and it doesn't work out, does it?
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of teams done that. And yeah, we'll sit there. You had the draft order up a little bit earlier. What are we, 4 right now? 3 or 4? Pull it up. Tankathon.
4, I think.
God, I was so hoping we can avoid that website this year.
We're 4.
4 right now. So Jacksonville doesn't need a quarterback.
Yes,
Giants and Tennessee are right ahead.
They're going to draft.
They're drafting quarterbacks. Vegas is right behind you. They're going to need a quarterback. Then there's Miami. No, I mean, win. Solve it all later. Figure it all out later. And that's kicking the can down the road, which has been the motto of this Cleveland Browns team in this era with Deshaun Watson. It's just been kicking the can down the road. But what else can you do? Got to win. That's all I hope for the Browns. So we'll hear from Kevin Stefanski a little bit later today. I hope you're a little rejuvenated with the bye, but if you're not, I get where you're coming from. We head over to ESPN this morning, and they ran through the playoff tiers. So this was Seth Walder and the NFL Nation. So we broke down all 32 teams into 8 different tiers of playoff hopes, ranging from the Super Bowl lock contenders down to the bottom of it. So I want to run through, and here's the interesting thing. I want to just see if you agree with Seth that these teams deserve to be where they're at. Maybe they should be higher. Maybe they should be a little bit lower. So we start at number 1. True, bona fide, no question, Super Bowl contenders. These are teams that it's not even a debate that they should be there. Do you want to guess the 4?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty clear. There's 4.
4.
2 for each, I assume.
Not necessarily.
Okay, then I'm going to say the 1 in the NFC is Detroit.
That is correct.
And there's 3 in the AFC.
Yep.
And it should be the Chiefs, the Bills, and the Ravens.
That is correct. No question on that. Number 1, Kansas City. Chances to make the playoffs are 99.9%. 97% to win their division with a 30% chance to make the playoffs. And Seth Walder did a write-up on each of them. He said the scary thing about the Chiefs is Patrick Mahomes isn't even all that good this year. And they're still 8-0. He's just playing a role. They're kind of lurking right now. Can they explode when they need to? We'll see.
No.
They're
not good.
Bills, chance to win the division, 99.9%. The strong offensive line, Khalil Shakur has stepped up, and Josh Allen playing at an MVP level. That run he had yesterday, impressive from one Josh Allen. Detroit, best team in the NFC, even after losing Aiden Hutchinson. Ben Johnson has the offense humming, defense improved, and they overcome 5 interceptions from Jared Goff yesterday. Baltimore, Lamar Jackson playing the best football of his life right now, and Derrick Henry with the resurgence for the Baltimore Ravens. No debate. I think those are the 4. All right. Number 2, these are playoff lock teams. So you wouldn't necessarily say I would say if you're a playoff team that you're a Super Bowl contender, but you got your 4. These stand as they're making the playoffs. We'll see what happens. All right.
Okay.
We have 1, 2, 3 teams in this. Just 3 playoff locks.
Okay. I'll start the AFC. Pittsburgh.
That is correct. 94% chance to make the playoffs.
The Texans.
That is correct. 95% chance. Go to the NFC.
Nobody in the West. Okay, Green Bay should. I don't know if they're a lock. They're considered a lock yet.
No.
But then neither would be Minnesota. Right?
Right.
Okay. The Cardinals are winning that division, so how can you not? But they're not a lock.
They're not a lock.
That.
Yeah.
NFC South, NFC East. Okay, the Commanders, the Eagles. Okay.
Eagles are correct at 95%.
And then, that's it.
So then, likely in, barring a collapse, Commanders, Vikings, Chargers, Falcons.
That division's not good.
87% chance to make it. Here's tier number 4 on playoff contenders, Super Bowl contenders. The Packers, leaning yes. Should they not? They have a playoff percentage chance of 77. I'd put them more in the playoff lot. I'd put them in tier 3, not tier 4. This is tier 4 of we're leaning that they're going to make it. The Packers, the Cardinals, San Francisco are in that. Tier 5, on the fringe of hope, but potentially the fringe of despair. The Bengals, the Broncos, the Colts, the Rams.
It's like the whole NFC.
They're on the fringe. Tier 6 of 8. Stranger things have happened. The collapse of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah,
4 and 6. Lost Godwin, lost Evans, but they play good football.
Yeah.
They're just not getting the wins. Seahawks, probably cooked. That's it. Tier 7. So you're telling me there's a chance. The Jets? No.
Oh, my God.
The Dolphins? No. The Bears?
No.
And then there's the rest. Tennessee, Jacksonville, the Saints, the Raiders, the Patriots, the Cowboys, the Panthers, the Giants, and your Cleveland Browns. Here's the write-up on the Browns of just the rest. We have a 3% chance of making the playoffs. The Browns season and probably the Deshaun Watson era has been over for some time. Before he suffered the Achilles injury, he's recording a miserable 22.4 QBR that ranked last in the league. But he wasn't the only problem, writes Seth Walder. The team's EPA per play against the blitz was an astonishing minus 0.3. That's bad. And there was no winning with either version of Watson. It's time for Cleveland to find their new quarterback. This is great from Daniel Ofusi, your tangible second half goal. And he writes, finding young cornerstones to build around. The Browns are possibly headed towards a top 5 draft pick and have one of the oldest rosters in the NFL. Andrew Berry doesn't think a rebuild is necessary, so figuring out which young players are worth building around is paramount to have success moving forward. He brings up 2 guys that he thinks have flashed already and might join that group of cornerstones for your team. Would you guess the 2?
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah. 2 guys, as he writes, recent draft picks who have flashed and will get extended playing time the rest of the season.
Oh, draft picks, they were just drafted last year.
No, recently. One has been this past year, the one was prior.
Well, the one this past year.
There's only one.
Mike
Hall is correct.
Sure.
We'll see. Cedric Tillman.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all you write up. Now, you can do that. Those guys are going to play. You don't have a choice, all right? Those guys are going to play. And that's kind of my thing. Go out there and win and try to win. And I know the Browns are not going they're not going to go 4-4 in these last 8. I'd love them to. I'd love to try to stick it to the Steelers a little bit moving forward. Those guys are going to play. So inevitably, that is going to happen as you move on forward. That's why you got to keep Jameis Winston in there. That's why I think eventually, you can try to play Dorian Thompson-Robinson. That's why I wanted them to try to go get a younger quarterback to bring in just for the mix at the trade deadline. Didn't happen. At this point, you let Winston play 4 games. You maybe give 2 each to Dorian Thompson-Robinson. Bailey Zappi. Maybe that's your plan moving forward. You got to see how these games go and try to play it out. But that's kind of where you sit with the Cleveland Browns. We know that. It's going to be a hard go of it, but you made your bed. You got to lie on it now. That do it for you? Mike Collins said Tillman. That's all you got to look forward to right now? That's it? I think trying to find a little bit with Jameis Winston. I'll tell you this about the Browns and the rest of the way out, dude. I want to see what Kevin Stefanski, can he have this, you got to play to your team. You got to play to your players, which I get. I want to see if Stefanski's got another level to this. Does he have something that he can implement here with Jameis Winston just to show you a little bit, show you a little life? Because right now, you don't have much. And those guys, I know how hard today is for them. They're walking into that facility going, what the hell are we going to do? What's the point? You got to fight that. You've got to fight that off as they get ready to go for this stretch run. You have nothing to play for anymore. And that's going to be the hard thing and the tough evaluation that you will have of Kevin Stefanski here. Can he keep this team together? Can he keep this team fighting and pushing forward when they have every reason to show up for every single freaking practice on the way out and say, there's no point. There's no point. That's going to tell you, Marco, your head coach. And again, I think he's safe. I think he's going to be here, but this is a giant mountain to climb to keep this team on. Just focus, just trying to just play on Sunday and just find a way to get. And eventually, I do think, Ryan, that they will get to a point where they sit down Myles Garrett. I think there's a point that Denzel Ward does not play anymore this season. Maybe that should be now. I don't know. Because then that signals to everybody else. Yep, we're packing it in. And, he gets to sit down. Why don't I get to sit down? There's a whole ball of wax that I don't want to get into right now. But eventually, that is going to have to be a part of the conversation. Would you think about sitting down some of your injured star players?
Yeah, when you're eliminated.
We are. I mean, yeah, mathematically, we have a chance. I get that. But, yeah, maybe once you officially get that, play it out the best, or at least reduce roles. At least reduce your roles a little bit for Myles. Only get him out there on third down. And it's not like he's got a huge nagging injury, but I just don't want that to. The thing is, where the Browns sit right now, you're trying to set yourself up for the best success in 2025, are you not? What is the version of that? This is a great conversation. What's the best thing the Browns can do to set themselves up for success in 2025? Number one, you do find out about some of your young players. This guy can play. He can be a rotational piece for us, potential starter. Number two, draft pick. You'd like to lose these games. I'm going to flip it to the positive. And I hope, other than Sunday, the Saints get a couple more wins. I hope that Bryce Young, who I crap on, maybe gets a couple more wins. Turn your attention towards that. Maybe some of these other teams get wins and you can vault up. Your cap situation is your cap situation. There's nothing you can do about that. And I'm sure they've already got moves lined up and ready to go. The only thing you can do to set yourself up for success then inherently involves not having guys battling injuries. Not having something that, God forbid, something happens, and you guys say, well, he might miss the start of camp, might miss this. Honestly, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, done. Sit him down for the year. And I'm going to start entertaining those conversations with Denzel Ward and Myles Garrett before you know it. Nick Chubb, let's see what you got. I'd like him back. You know where I stand on Nick Chubb. I want him here forever. Get him some carries. I'd like to see more Jerome Ford. I'd like to see more Pierre Strong, right? But that comes back. Why Teller not have to sit down? Why can't Jack Conklin sit down? Like, that's the game that they're going to have to play. Another thing, too, in this second half, man, MJ Emerson. Can I see something there? You shake your head. You think it's done? You think he's just cooked?
No, I don't think he's cooked.
All right, then let's get some good reps out there for MJ Emerson in the final 8 games, all right? There are still important things to be had for the rest of the way out for the Browns. We'll have to see how it goes. Want to turn our attention back to the Cavs, though. Ryan, please update our Twitter question, at Matt Fontana Show. We asked everybody this morning, what has been your favorite start of this Cavs 11-0 unbeaten streak? Kenny Atkinson, roster depth, Darius Garland stepping up, or the offensive explosion? What do we got?
Yeah, Kenny Atkinson, with no surprise, leads the way, 37.9%. DG's massive comeback, offensive explosion, and then roster depth.
Love it. That's where we're at. So vote on that at Matt Fontana Show. I want to do this. All right. You want to start our parlay a little quick here?
Sure.
What I'd like doing is taking a look at some things and then revisit at the end of the show. We need to hit one. We were close. We've been close on a couple. Let's see if we can hit another one here. All right. So we start tonight. Didn't even look, Ryan.
All right.
6.5. 8. Okay. All right. 6.
It's 8?
It's 8. Cavs are favored by 8 right now. All right.
I think that makes sense. 8.5, yeah.
8.5, sure. Do you think tonight is Evan Mobley a type of game for tonight? I think we always start with this. Who do you think is going to be the leading scorer for the Cavs tonight? You had Mitchell.
It's going to be a fast-paced game. Donovan Mitchell.
All right. So you like him for 20?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's take a look at the Bulls. 8 o'clock tonight. Okay. Odd Shark likes the Cavs to win, but Chicago to cover. They love the under tonight. The under is set at 236. So I think that comes back to the pace that you're talking about there. On the season, Chicago only scores 113. They give up 120. We score 123. We only give up 110. So the offense for Chicago, not good. I think under might actually be the play in this. Chicago, the over has hit 6 out of their 9 games. The same exact thing for the Cavs. Wait, why have they not updated the Cavs record? They still have us at 9-0. Huh. Well, we're undefeated, so we can probably up that just a hair there. They're not updated on Odd Shark. All right, let's real quick here run through this. Chicago just beat Atlanta 125-113. Before that, they lost 4 straight, putting up 119, 99, 126, and 112. So, I was so ready to slam the over, though. So ready to slam the over. They had a 9.5-point spread against Minnesota they did not cover. They had a 10-point spread against Dallas that they didn't cover. They were 7.5-point favorites over Utah, lost outright. And then they didn't cover. Okay, so here's the crazy thing. So we have an 8-point spread tonight. This season, the Bulls have had spreads as dogs of 9.5, 10, 9.5, 9.5. Right of those 4, they only covered 1 of those. And that was against Milwaukee in the second game of the season. So maybe I like the 8 tonight. Maybe I like the 8 tonight for the Bulls. Leading scorer for Chicago coming in is Zach LaVine at 22. Vucevic is averaging 10 points per game, or 10 rebounds, on that. All right. You like Mitchell?
I do.
You want to do over under on the points? Here's player points. Donovan over under 23.5. Garland 18.5. Mobley 17.5. Jared Allen 14.5. I like it for 4 more points. You go from minus 280 to minus 115 if he just gets you 24 instead of 20.
Yeah.
I also wonder if this is going to be a close game.
That's the thing.
If they're going to be playing into the fourth quarter.
Right.
Which I would think could potentially be it. Did the Bulls play last night?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Hang on.
The Bulls did not play last night.
Okay, so they beat the Hawks 2 days ago.
On Saturday.
That's right. 2 days ago. All right, that's a good start. I just want to look at it to get our start down. So we like Mitchell. Obviously, it's 7 for Jared Allen. Because, again, it's hard because, Friday night they didn't get a lot of that kind of stuff because they weren't playing. All right, here's what I'm going to bet. I like it to start. 7 for Allen. 20 plus from Mitchell gets me to minus 210. See, that's not a lot of juice. Garland to score 10. Mobley to score 10. All of that just gets me to minus 140. Jared Allen to do double-double. You like him for a double-double tonight?
Yeah, probably.
Just that. Why can't I do... Oh, the 7 rebounds. I took that out. Okay. That's the plus 170. And if I do the Cavs minus... Give me the hook on 8.5. That's plus 350. Plus 350. Mitchell 20, Mobley 10, Garland 10, Jared Allen double-double, Cavs minus 8.5. You like it?
I do.
I like it. $2 with a boost wins me 11. 2 to win 11. I'll start with that. We'll get some more Cavs coming up in a little bit. And I want to revisit our question as we go on. All right, plenty coming up in hour 2. We'll get back to the grid. We got time up. We got the morning update. I do want to recap a little bit of the games yesterday. We'll do around the league tomorrow as we run through all of it. But it's like at that point that we're kind of scoreboard watching a little bit. You got helped out yesterday. You got helped out by some teams that you're competing with for playoff spots. I'm sorry, playoffs. God, I wish playoff spots. For draft. That's where we're at, man. I'm scoreboard watching for draft picks again. That's where we're at in this whole thing.
I mean, losing out and getting Travis Hunter would be kind of sick.
Okay. Is there really somebody that you would lose out for? Is it Travis Hunter?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You play him at corner?
In this draft? Yeah, I would put him at corner.
That's my whole crux of this thing, man. And I think I was maybe avoiding it when we were talking with the Browns.
You need to go, dude. You need to go get the best player.
I don't think there's somebody worth it.
Travis is.
He might be.
No,
and
I
know he's going to be that good, and they think he's going to be better at corner than he is receiver. Like, that's fine.
Especially if Denzel is going to be out here in a little bit.
That might hope, but I get that's part of the reason that rebuilding in the NFL is never the full-blown tank, because you don't have guys that you say this is a lock and they're going to help. Right? Basketball, you can tank. I know Chet Holmgren just got hurt, but when you don't win, you're like, all right, we know we're getting this guy. We know this guy is going to translate. And you had, I guess, bust to a point. Like, is Zion everything you thought he'd be? He was always whatever, fine. Football, it all inherently comes back to what? The quarterbacks, right? We need Caleb Williams. We know Jane Daniels is going to be good. Let's go get him. Herbert, Tua. They didn't necessarily go 1 and 2. You figure all that out, but it's like,
I don't know.
On my vibe of this draft, Ryan, I don't see something that I'm just like, I would sell my soul for everything to go get player X. I know you feel that way about Travis Hunter, and maybe I'm wrong on that, and I'm not feeling it, but this draft isn't quite doing it for me. I don't know.
I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, but I mean, think about Myles Garrett. Like, that worked out very well.
But that's what I'm saying. There's not even that guy right now. Is there?
The closest one to being able to replicate, not obviously a different position, but
exactly.
It is Travis Hunter, yeah. In terms of
like game eraser, this guy's a day one starter, borderline all pro potential. That's what I ask. You're drafted in the top 10. That's what you damn well better get. All right. And we can run through not just us, but other teams that have screwed that up. And you took this guy over that guy. But it all comes back to, again, you're going to need a quarterback. And if you do believe that Cam Moore, because the other thing, it all just lines up to this. The cosmos, if you will, of you need it to line up so well that you are drafting with a high pick with a team win a draft when you actually got a quarterback worth it. And I like Cam Moore. And I watched that Miami game a lot. And all I did was get sucked back in and be like, dude, there's Cam Ward. His release, his accuracy. Oh. And I know Shedeur Sanders is very good. And I know Travis Hunter is very good. And I know there's some, but it's like, I don't know. And I'm sure there's draft people that tell me I'm insane. Like, this seems to be a draft that it's not worth it having a top 10. You know the drafts that they tell you, like, nope, you want to have a top 10 pick in this draft? I don't know if I'm getting this vibe.
Yeah, but they say that about the Mac Jones draft with Trey Lance and Zach Wilson. That was a must-not-miss draft.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, and look at those three guys, right? That's what you want to avoid. And there's an inherent part of me, too, of like, oh, we had a good quarterback draft last year. Can this one really back that up? I don't know. And it comes back to fit and system and all that. Like, I just tell you, save this clip. I might actually be all right going non-quarterback and going finding a guy later in the draft. Like, yeah, could you find me a Dak Prescott or whatever? Like,
I think most people would understand that.
That might have to be
unless you're enamored with Sanders or Ward.
And that's for the evaluation of a guy that's not drafted, one outside of Dorian Thompson-Robinson. Right? That's it. Think about that, too. 3 first-round picks, man. And again, I don't mean to keep revisiting this kind of stuff. You're going to ask guys you've not had a strong draft record with, and you haven't even had a record, per se, for quite a few years for Andrew Berry. And is it wrong for me to say the entire weight of the franchise is going to weigh on this draft? On what they do or what they don't do? Whether they trade back, whether they trade up? Like, we'll get to that whole conversation later, but as I get ready for these 8 games, and a conversation we're going to have over and over again over this stretch of time is I'm not ready to just tank games for guys that I'm really not that enamored with. I want Cam Ward. I like Cam Ward. I like Shedeur Sanders. None of these guys at this moment in time to me are tank it out. This is what's going to fix our franchise. I don't have that feeling. So if I don't have that right now, you might as well try to go win some games, make the best top 10 pick possible you can, figure out the Watson deal, and turn it back over and try to go win some games next year. I don't see it in this draft. And maybe draft people tell me wrong. We'll have some on as we get closer to it. Trust me. But Ryan, right now, I'm not ready to sell my soul on out to try to go get one of these guys.
Fair enough.
I need a quarterback. I know that.
Fair enough.
I know that. But they're just remember that there's multiple other ways to do it. And I'd be lying to you if
Nothing's
I didn't.
as fun as drafting a first-round quarterback.
But it is fun. It is fun. And we all sit there and you think about what he can be and if he can be the franchise. And I'm also one that people don't like this. I'm a stick in the mud. I like benching him for a little while. I like sitting them. I actually like what the Patriots did. Sit Drake May down, then put him in there. But the thing is, he went into a bad situation. I hope the Browns don't have a bad situation for their rookie if they want to put him in there next year. But the one other thing, too, that I'm not dismissing is the veteran guy. And it's not even Jameis. That's a nice, easy package. That's a nice little succinct thing to do. What about going to get a guy that is discarded from somewhere, right?
Oh, like a Jacoby Brissett?
Not even, no, I'll do another. Yeah, I want to do Joe Flacco, by the way. Did you see that DeMar Hamlin clip of them? Like, I can't believe he won that award over DeMar Hamlin. He fumbles and then he picks it up. No, I'm talking more like Geno Smith. And I'm not talking about right now. It's the fact that Seattle got him and had a career resurgence. What about Sam Darnold? What about Kirk Cousins? Now, those guys are high priced. You're going to have to pay. Sam Darnold is going to most likely be available for you next year. Is that your move out? Well, you can't pay him. You got your salary cap restrictions. Is there a way that Andrew Barrett can make that work? I don't know. I mean, these are all the things. You got to keep all these options open as we go. But tanking out, losing out, certainly not going to be a part of it for me. All right, we got the morning update. Couple games to recap. NBA slate as well. We'll talk a little Buckeyes. Took care of what they needed to, but boy, those seas parted. Wow. One of the guys I follow. I host him on ESPN. Shout out to Mark Zeno. And he hosts betting. He's on a couple different betting networks. Bro, he was screaming on Friday about Ole Miss. And he goes, they should not be this big of a dog. And they smoke them outright. Season parted. You took care of lowly Purdue. You got Michigan in a couple of weeks, but Ohio State's sitting prime where they need to. So we'll get into some college football as well. That damn grid, we'll get to that. We got the morning update. Time up. We got a Fontana show right here on Big Play. Driven by our friends at Fairway Ford. Back right after this.
I'm Garage Beer, and this is Bobby Carpenter.
Garage Beer. Beer-flavored beer.
Beef with an F? Okay, my bad. It's crisp and cool, and it doesn't taste like ass. I'm Bobby Carpenter. I drink in garages because my wife says I don't belong inside. If you like a cold breeze on your bag, drink Garage Beer. It's American, and so can you. Garage Beer. Beer-flavored beer.
Well, how do they know I'm doing this? Did somebody leak this out?
It's social media.
Oh.
It's just, that's the way social media works now.
I thought maybe you were just running that yap.
Hi everyone, Tim Kitzer from NBA Jam and NFL Blitz. You're listening to
And I think they got 11 last year because we were just riding the highs of Flacco fever and the crazy run that they went on in the second half of the season this year. I'm going to go with 10-7 as my Browns record prediction. I'll take a game away. I agree wholeheartedly with what Bruce said, that this division is brutal, and the Browns are going to have to take care of business early on in this season because they don't catch a divisional game until like week 7 or week 8. So you got to beat Dallas. You got to win some of these winnable games early, so that way you've got a little bit of a cushion in the AFC North when those games begin. I'll go 10-7 for the Browns this year.
I don't buy into this nonsense, this conspiracy nonsense that he's got his money and he's dogging it, he's That's ridiculous.
They're off in the Kentucky Derby as Authentic takes them around the far turn. Tis the Laws making his move now, and they're into the stretch. These two stride for stride. Authentic, tis the Law. Here's the wire. Authentic has won the Kentucky Derby.
Welcome back, Fontana Show, right here on Big Play, driven by Fairway Ford. Check them out, fairwayfordohio.com. Expedition sale, F-150 sale, Broncos sale, thousands off. Go check them out at fairwayfordohio.com. Very happy Veterans Day to all out there who served our country or are part of serving for our country. We thank you very, very much. Follow us on Twitter X at Matt Fontana Show. We're up on YouTube, Instagram at The Big Play Network. Ryan's got all the stories. We got it. Let's go.
Already with the 11-0 Cleveland Cavaliers travel to the Windy City. They'll be taking on the 4-6 Chicago Bulls. Cavs open up this game as a 7.5-point favorite.
New
Max
York or
Strus
Chicago
and
style
Amani
pizza?
Bates both out as they have been. Lonzo Ball out with a hand injury. Zach LaVine, their best player. Game time decision, Matt.
Like the Cavs might say, it's Chicago, New York style.
So explain to me again, what's the difference?
So New York is
Flat.
flat. You almost have to fold it.
No thanks.
Chicago is like a lasagna.
Yeah, Chicago.
It
Depends what mood I'm in.
I've only experienced Chicago a couple of times, like Chicago, like deep dish pizza. You got to be in a mood for that. Like I think it's like anything with pizza. I'll probably go New York style, to be honest with you. Chicago might be a little overrated on that side of things, but they're both delicious. It's like pizza's like, you know what? Even when it's bad, it's usually pretty good. But anyway, Cavs are tonight. The thing that I wonder about this team. Do you think they care about the undefeated streak?
Yeah.
You think they do? Okay, because I was wondering about that because a game like tonight, obviously, I don't think there's any way the Cavs lose this game. But when you combo that we're talented, we're running our system, all systems are go right now. If you want to add in a sprinkle that they do care about this undefeated streak, knowing that eventually it'll come to an end, but just the goal and the drive and the strive to go towards something, that's good. So, like, the answer is, yeah, that's great. Now, I don't want to say anything's been at the detriment of having to play these guys insane amount of minutes, and you got back-to-backs that are navigating, all that kind of stuff. Right? This is damn near perfect, right? This is damn near perfect. The Cavs are playing defense. They like one another. They're efficient on offense. They can score in multiple different ways on you. They've beaten a lot of different looking type of teams. They've played good teams. The issue is going to be that. Do you feel like this is all just inevitably gearing up towards the first game against the Celtics?
Yeah, of course it is. That's the one you got to win.
And that's the one to really maybe tell you the litmus test on this. Now, here's the interesting thing. You don't get them for another week. You will not play the Celtics until next Tuesday. In between then, the Bulls, 76ers, Bulls, and Hornets. You should have no reason to not still be undefeated by the time you face the Celtics. But let's just say they fall in one of those games, and crazier things have happened, but still. It all gears up to that next Tuesday on TNT, where you're going to see what you got for a Celtics team that is the best team in basketball. Maybe. It's hard to look at Oklahoma City now with Chet Holmgren is going to be out 2 months. And not say, but like if you just look at the records in the NBA, obviously we're still undefeated. The Celtics are right behind us. Then the Suns, Thunder, Warriors are all 8-2, 7-3 for the Nuggets. You want to know something else pretty interesting to do as we get ready for this? Do you know who the 3 seed in the East would be right now, Ryan?
Yes, the Pacers, I believe.
They are 5-5.
Yes.
You already have that separation. And I really do think it might stay that way. Pacers, probably they're going to be a 500 team above that. But the Magic are 5-6. The Knicks are 4-5. Like, dude, we're a couple of weeks in. I don't want to put too much out. Like, you're about, 3 weeks into the season, right? You already have a 5.5 game lead on the 3rd seed. Like, that's how the East is going to start separating itself. Now, I believe that the Knicks are going to be there. They'll get back up there. 76ers? What? The Bucks? What? The thinning of the herd is happening already. Where you might truly come down to 3 teams. It might be us, the Celtics, and the Knicks. That might be it. I'm fine with that. I'm fine. But it's like already interesting to see the gap that you have created. Yeah, and inevitably, it'll come back to what? Next week when you take on the Celtics. But we'll get there. Even if we lose one here and there, that's fine. It's all going to be geared up for that. I just love so much about what this team is doing right now. You're back on the road, too. You have had 5 home games, and you have played well, obviously, in those. Back on the road, I like a little tester for tonight. But you mentioned the game time decision for Zach LaVine, Lonzo Ball. Poor Lonzo Ball, man. I do feel his dad's a jackass, but I feel bad for him. Got through all those injuries, and everybody even this season was, man, he's back and this and that. Womp womp. But anyway, you're not down with anything. You got Strus, all right? That happens. Mitchell, Garland, Allen, Mobley. They're all healthy. That's all you can ask for, and you're getting good minutes out of everybody else. Ooh, we should put Ty Jerome in there. Yeah, I like him for 5, man. I like him for 5. That's what I get. I always do our parlay early. I put it in that I'm always like, oh, I should have added this later. Can I get Ty Jerome for 5? No. I can get Isaac Coro for 5. Yeah, I'd like a little Ty Jerome action on that, but nonetheless. Cavs in action, got a parlay. We'll revisit a little bit later, but again, I love the start from where we're at. Lot to contribute towards it as well, which is a great thing.
Alrighty, well, Buckeyes back in the shoe. They steamroll the Boilermakers 45-0. It wasn't even an intentional pun. Get over it. Will Howard, 263 touchdowns. Travion Henderson, 85 yards and a touchdown. Jeremiah Smith, 6 receptions, 87 yards and a touchdown. This one was all Ohio State, and even Gus Johnson didn't have the energy.
What in the hell? What is going on? Is he just that anti? I'm being dead serious, and I'm not going to laugh about this. It's not funny. Is he not well? Seriously.
And the Buckeyes score another one.
It's a 45-0 rout, bro. I get it. And I start as not being a fan of Gus Johnson anymore. He's jumped the shark for me. What? And people are starting to notice it as well. As a broadcaster, again, I say broadcaster, content creators, whatever you want to say, play-by-play. We all have biases. Do you want to know one of the hardest jobs that I ever did, Ryan? I'm going to tell you a quick story. Do you know that I've called AHL hockey in my career? So I started out, all I ever wanted to be was Jim Donovan. I want to do play-by-play. I love doing basketball. I love football. I've done high school wrestling. I've done soccer. I used to do it all, right? And I got to know Doug Plagans, who's now the play-by-play radio voice of the champion Florida Panthers. Doug was calling the Monsters games. And I would run the games over at KNR. And he knew I did hockey play-by-play. And he called me. He said, hey, man, we got a situation. The Dallas AHL affiliate, I can't even remember who it was. Their play-by-play guy has a wedding on Saturday. So he's going to call the game on Friday. We need somebody to fill in Saturday night. Would you do it? I think it was like $200. I'd have done it for free. And I said, absolutely. He goes, here's your flip, though. You, as a Cleveland Monsters fan, have to call the game as part of, I think, the Phantoms were their name. For some reason, I remember. Dallas's AHL team. There was a game-winning goal. Hang on. The Texas Stars. That's it. The Texas Stars. Bro, the Monsters hit a game-winning goal, and I had to make the call as if I was sad as the Texas Stars play-by-play guy. I set my biases aside in that situation. I had a lot of fun doing it. It's great. Why can Gus Johnson not do that? And I get that what is a good mark of a lot of broadcasters is they bring a talent, they bring a flair, they have a personality that they bring to it. And the other side is people get pissed when Chris Collinsworth is like, oh my God, Patrick Mahomes, oh my God. All right, I understand that. What the is up with Gus? And I hope he's not sick because he sounds not well. It's not good. The best guys on the national scene, like I love Kevin Harlan. Everybody loves Kevin Harlan because he's got the funny thing about the cat on the field. But he gets equally as excited for either team that's going. Why can't we get that with Gus? And the thing is, we are inevitably going to keep running into him as long as we're on Fox. And I know eventually the Big Ten is going to flip on over. I wait for that day and all. It was distracting. It was distracting. Oh, Matt, turn the game off. Listen to Paul Keels and Jim Lachey. Yeah, and Jim Lachey, who steps all over Paul Keels, they are the home broadcast for Ohio State, and that goes up to an nth degree. I don't know, man. It was distracting to watch. That's probably, honestly, the biggest takeaway from the game. For Ohio State, here is my true one thing I want to say to Ryan Day and crew. Run TreVeyon Henderson. I know that you got Quinshon Judkins here, and you probably made promises, and you got him his NIL money. TreVeyon Henderson is your best running back. And I really do think that they are playing a little oop-de-oop right now. They're not going to run him as much when you get to the Big Ten championship game, maybe, when you certainly get to the playoffs. I think you unleash TreVeyon Henderson. Now, the other issue is we can't keep a lineman on the freaking field right now. You got guys getting hurt left and right. Okay, I want to look into a defensive performance with Sawyer with that play and all that kind of stuff. Dude, it's Purdue. They don't have much going on for them. Okay, fine. But offensively, yeah, you got guys banged up on that offensive line. You're having to piecemeal that. Continue to run TreVeyon Henderson. Jeremiah Smith's always going to be there. Emeka Egbuka's always going to be there. I like getting some balls to Brandon Inniss. I do. But keep running TreVeyon. I think that's going to be the biggest key for this whole thing, outside of Will Howard. But you can't take too much away from that. It was kind of a butt whooping, but hey, you got out of there, again, relatively healthy on that. You want to run through the other games? I don't know if you're going to bring up the other big college football games.
I mean, it's really just Georgia Ole Miss.
Well,
I mean,
Miami
lost. Yeah.
Miami lost. Oregon took care of business. Ole Miss, their people said, do not be surprised by that in the least. And as I said, the betting people were there. Do you think Ole Miss can get back into it? We'll find out our rankings tomorrow. Miami, still a playoff team? Absolutely. Right?
Yeah.
If they go undefeated,
I mean,
the rest of the way.
Yeah, you're not taking them out.
You think he's going to win the Heisman?
Probably.
Okay. I think so.
I mean,
Texas is fine. Penn State's fine. The Hoosiers.
Yeah, they're good.
In the top 5. Are they not going to take the Big Ten championship game away from us?
Well, we play them.
Oh, that's right. We play them this week.
Yeah. No, not 2 weeks. I think. We play Northwest. They play. I don't say.
Oh, that's right. We have
Northwest.
Northwest. That's right. We have 3 games left. I keep thinking Oh. Northwestern, Indiana, then Michigan. I'm sorry. I keep thinking we only have 2 left. You're right. I'm sorry. We're right. So they have their bye before they play us. All right. We're going to. We got him, but it's good to see you out in Indiana. But yeah, Georgia's still gonna make it, right? Yeah. There's a lot of playoff, but we'll see tomorrow with the standings. I know the AP's out there. They had a couple jumps there. See how it goes.
Alrighty, well, the Dallas Cowboys' latest excuse for being an absolute dumpster fire this season, Matt, it's the great big fiery ball in the sky that we call the sun. I don't think it would have made a difference, but CeeDee Lamb allegedly could not see the ball thrown at his chest because of the sun in his eyes. Now, Jerry Jones talked about it in the post-game press conference. He says, quote, "We do know where the damn sun's going to be at our own stadium." Joke said, "Let's just tear the damn stadium down and build another one." Are you kidding me? Everybody's got the same thing. Every team that comes in here has the same issue. They know where the sun's going to be. Every team has the same thing. Now, the Cowboys, they don't practice at AT&T Stadium. The sun, it's only an issue during their late afternoon kickoffs during the fall.
So here's the weirdest part of all of this.
Curtains?
They try to make it out that they have a home field advantage in a dome. And they go, well, we know we're not going to go that way. Jerry, you're going to go that way twice in the game no matter what. How do you know that there won't be a drive in the first or third, even if you play it out perfectly, right? First and third quarter. How do you know that drive's on him? Can I just talk to you as a fan for a second, Jer? It's annoying as hell to watch on TV. How does the NFL, I'm being dead serious, not call and say, bro, this looks like ass on the TV. All you see is this little streak of sun down the middle, and then it's straight in the face of Cooper Rush. What? And they're all, like you said, they put curtains in, and Jerry says he needs them open. He sucks. He's the worst. He really is. What point are you trying to prove? And then, in true Jerry fashion, what does he do? He continues to get combative with people. What do you want me to do? Tear the stadium down? Jerry, you're a loon. You're an absolute loon. Close the curtains. It's distracting to watch. And Ryan, I don't understand how they don't say something. Now, I know in outdoor stadiums, I see shadows too. Like for the Browns late in the season, you see shadows. That kind of stuff happens. But like when you can avoid it and just help strictly your viewing product. Now, the Cowboys have not been a good viewing product this year, but even just being able to watch it easier on TV, you think the NFL would call him like, Jerry, close the damn curtains. Close the freaking curtains, man. I just think it's interesting, too, that you got, CD talking the way that he is. You got Micah Parsons talking the way that he is. Jerry said he's not sure if he's going to fire Mike McCarthy in the season. Like, what do you mean you don't know? You're the owner. You don't know what's going on in your own head? They're dumpster fire. I love it. Go ahead. I hate Dallas. I really don't like the Cowboys at all. So,
alrighty,
don't worry. We got to watch
morning update. Well, the 49ers did get a much-needed win against Tampa Bay, Matt, but that didn't come without any drama. Wide receiver Deebo Samuel had some words for Jake Moody, who missed 3 consecutive field goals. This all led to him confronting long snapper Tabor Pepper, quite the name, who stepped into the mix afterwards. Deebo was seen on the sideline shoving him after walking away.
He got his throat.
After the game, Deebo, quote, "Normally I don't get like that, but just frustrated in the heat of battle. Close game, I kind of got out of character a little bit, but I'll talk to Moody and we'll get past it." Matt, I thought that was ridiculous.
I thought it was Bush League.
I would be very ashamed if I was their head coach, and in fact, I would go as far as saying, dude, I don't care, I'm benching you.
I would. I thought about that a lot. I would fine him, and I would say, you're not playing the first quarter. And everybody says, oh, what's one quarter? What's this or that?
You got to send a message.
Number one, and I'm just going to keep it real. You are picking on people that can't defend themselves. He's the fucking long snapper. Yes, I know that football teams view the specialists as not real football players, right? And that's why even when you get them game-winning kick, they're like, we don't care. They don't view them as real football. I understand that. But you got to keep this together as, A, that is your teammate. And B, you're picking on people that really can't defend themselves. You want to go after a starting cornerback? Sure. You'd be like, dude, shut up. I'm out there playing, right? Okay, you don't want to view the specialist that way. I thought that was really weak. I really thought that was Bush League and weak from Deebo Samuel. Yeah, you're frustrated that Moody's missing kicks. You're going to go, like, what? And I see sideline blow-ups all the time. I just felt like that was picking on somebody that couldn't defend themselves. And I appreciate Pepper going back after him. Like, dude, F you, man. If I'm Kyle Shanahan, I do step in and go, that is not going to fly. You want to get angry at other teammates that are in the trenches, in the fight of it? That's different. Number one, you swung on a teammate. That is a suspendable and finable offense. Then you want to add in the layer that I think is the most important. You're picking on the weak, man. And I don't mean to downplay that guy's in the NFL. I understand, but you get what I'm saying? Like, you're picking on somebody like a bully. And it's funny because his name is Deebo. Where does he get his name? Deebo from Friday. And what was Deebo? He was a giant freaking bully. All right. Like, you can't do that. And I think Deebo not giving a straight-up apology, like, I was angry and we'll talk to him when we get past it. For him not to come out and go, yeah, that was bad. I shouldn't have done that. That was weak. That was really – and I like Deebo Samuel a lot. Or I did. I didn't like that. You're picking on somebody who can't defend themselves. Picking on a long snapper? Come on, man.
Moody did get the last laugh, though.
He did. He got the kick when he needed it. And yeah, they were shanked. Dude, the guy's missed how many weeks? Comes back and you think he's going to be perfect? He had some good games this weekend. You had some good games. We'll go around the league tomorrow, though, as we get geared up and ready for that. Speaking of some of the teams in action, let's go. Fresh. Dude, come on.
We were close last week. Very close last week.
Are you ready? I'm ready to make the statement. Are you ready? Our giveaway, when we get it, will be a Cavs themed merch package.
Ty Jerome jersey.
I thought about maybe something big like a jersey like that. It's going to be Cavs. They're winning. We need to win. We need to get the freaking grid. If you're new to the show, the grid, we do it all week. We get 5 days without screwing up. There's a giveaway for you out there. Shout out to Mike. By the way, Mike, if you're watching, I apologize. That's on me. Your Guardians ALCS t-shirt is in the mail. It's on its way. But You start on Monday. We get one reprieve a week, which we will not use today in Wordle. Go.
We got Alabama.
That's in. We've never had that.
No.
They do that on the weekends.
We can start with Jalen Waddle.
Tua. Either one.
Either one. Baltimore, Alabama. Well, now we could do
Derrick Henry. Devontae Smith. All right. That's Tyrod, as is the Rams. Oh no, did we screw that up with Tyrod never playing for No, he played for Miami, right? Tyrod Taylor? Dude, don't do this to us, please.
I'm going to start Dolphins, Rams. We could do Odell.
But you can also do Rams, Baltimore, Odell. Now the other one there.
When did
Odell was on Baltimore last year.
Oh, yeah, he was. Wow, I forgot about that.
And he just got to Miami. And I think he has played in a game, right? They got him off injured reserve. I think he played. He was off PUP.
All right, so what do you want to do? Think of another Rams Baltimore.
Well, Rams Dolphins. See, the problem is I've got Tyrod in like 5 different places.
Where do you want to rip it?
All right, let's focus on this. You're right.
Dolphins, Rams, Jalen Ramsey.
Jalen Ramsey. That's the one I wasn't thinking of. So Jalen Ramsey there. Then you can go Odell there. Okay. And then that one. Was Carson Wentz there? Or
Just thinking. I don't remember. I don't think so.
I think he just. No, he's in Kansas City.
Kansas City.
But did Nick Foles go to the Rams too?
I feel like he probably did play there. Should we save it? Should we just go to
That's fine.
All right,
I mean, Saints Dolphins, Ted Ginn Jr.
Yes, that's what I was
That's Ted. I think that's Tyrod.
I don't remember.
That's okay. Go Mark Ingram.
Saints, Eagles.
No. Maurice Jones-Drew, don't think so. Quarterbacks. I wanted to say Ron Jaworski for a minute, but I don't think that's right. It sounds. And then Archie Manning, I don't think ever was in Philly. All right, Randall Cunningham never played in New Orleans. Dante Culpepper, I don't think so. Mike Vick, no. Then obviously they've had Jalen Hurts. It was Carson Wentz. It was Nick Foles.
Mario Davis never played in Philly.
I don't think he ever played in Philly, no. All those secondary guys, but I don't think any of them went to Philly, you know.
Tyrann Mathieu, I don't think I ever played in Philly.
No.
Jimmy Graham never played in Philly.
Yeah, I feel like, honestly, we're in a weird spot that we don't have any quarterbacks filled in right now. So there's got to be one. And the same thing for the Rams. I think that's Nick Foles. I really.
Rams, Eagles?
Yeah, I really do.
Sounds
right? Like, didn't he go there as the backup for a little bit?
I mean, it sounds correct.
Then hit it. Just get out of the way. Wait. Are we sure it wasn't Carson Wentz?
I'm trying to think.
I think it was Carson Wentz.
Did Have you ever played a game?
Now, that's exactly where I was going to go. I don't know if Carson Wentz ever got into a game with the Rams. I think it's Carson Wentz. I do. But we can set that aside for a second. All right, Eagles Saints. Oh my God.
An obvious one?
Yeah, for me anyway. Gerard. Duh. Nice. 0.02. All right. I think it's Carson Wentz. I really do. We have time. We have plenty of time. Plenty of time. Son Reddick, obviously, no. I'm trying to think of just players that have left Philly recently. Terrell Owens never played for the Rams. Brian Westbrook, I don't think so. Brian Dawkins.
Zach Ertz never played in LA.
No. I rip Carson Wentz. I think it's Carson Wentz.
All right.
I know he went to the Rams.
Nick Foles never played for the Rams?
I honestly think they both.
Yeah, I think it's very possible.
I mean, who do you feel better? I just go either one.
Carson Wentz.
Carson Wentz. Yep. Nice. All right. All that for nothing.
Nick Foles
would have worked. I think they both would have worked. Darren Sproles. That's who I couldn't think of. Darren Sproles. I said Maurice Jones-Drew. Darren Sproles is actually the one I was trying to think of there. All right. Well done. Hey, that's day one in the books. That's all we need. All right. Let's catch our final break of the morning. We come back. We'll dive into time up. I want to get back in the bracket this week. We missed the bracket last week. We'll dive back into that coming up as well. Get our cash parlay tonight. And we got Monday Night Football at play as well. Got it all for you. Stay with us.
I'm Garage Beer, and this is Bobby Carpenter.
Garage beer. Beer flavored beer.
Beef with an F? Okay, my bad. It's crisp and cool, and it doesn't taste like ass. I'm Bobby Carpenter. I drink in garages because my wife says I don't belong inside. If you like a cold breeze on your bag, drink garage beer. It's American, and so can you. Garage beer. Beer flavored beer.
Well, how do they know I'm doing this? Did somebody leak this out?
It's social media.
Oh.
It's just that's the way social media works now.
I thought maybe you were just running that yap.
Even though our strength of schedule was number one in the NFL, I think we have the dogs up front. We have the dogs in the back as it relates to our defense. Our defense alone keeps us in these games. Not even talking about offense. Let's just say Deshaun Watson isn't there. We got dogs on the defensive side that's mirroring the potential of the Ravens from 2001 or 2000 Ravens with Jamal Lewis and the boys and Ray Lewis and those guys.
Right.
They won, again, no disrespect to Trent Dilfer, but they won without a high-powered offense.
I don't buy into this nonsense, this conspiracy nonsense that he's got his money and he's dogging it. That's ridiculous.
They're off in the Kentucky Derby. as Authentic takes them around the far turn. Tis the Laws making his move now, and they're into the stretch. These two stride for stride. Authentic, tis the Law. Here's the wire. Authentic has won the Kentucky Derby.
All right, welcome back. Let's get in a little bit of time up for our Monday Night Football plate tonight. Remind you of our Cavs parlay as they're taking on the Bulls, both 8 o'clock. The only thing I don't like is I can't have the multi-view up because I have YouTube TV, then I'm on like the FanDuel Sports Network, so I have to have 2 different TVs up. Hey, man, I'll make do. It's all good. Let's get after it with a little bit of time up to start things out, though, as we head back today, 11/11, November 11th. This one's just for me. Kevin Conroy, he was the voice of Batman to me. He unfortunately passed away this day 2022. I got to interview him. Really nice guy. So for all the Batman community, that was this day 2022. This day 2020, Shane Bieber unanimously wins the AL Cy Young. Shortened season, COVID, all of that. What do you do with Bieber? I'd re-sign him tomorrow. Yes. I'd re-sign him tomorrow. Yes. We saw that deal from ESPN that they threw out that they liked like a 3-year, 50-odd some $1 million deal or something like that. I'm in for that. I would do it all day. But interesting offseason, I think, for the Guardians coming up because you obviously had an amazing year last year. I don't want to say it's not good enough because you were good enough, but like this offseason's going to be telling a lot. And I also look at it and I say this, when's that blitzer money coming in? What is that like succession plan there? They still got to finish the stadium and all that kind of stuff, but pivotal offseason for the Guards. Running it back ain't going to be good enough for them. They got some big decisions with Naylor, both of them. Some money to maybe spend on some guys. We'll see, but he did win the Cy Young this day 2020. Also this day 2020, to the opposite side of that, a report that Francisco Lindor would be traded that offseason. The list included the Mets, so obviously he went to the Red Sox, a couple other teams, but he eventually would be traded just after the new year. You know, I pulled this up to make sure that it was the time of it, which, you know, shout out to Justin Latta. He does Lockdown Guards. And he had a good point about prospects, right? Do you know what we got back for Francisco Lindor? So you traded them and Cookie. You got back Andres Jimenez, good player. Ahmed Rosario, not here anymore. Josh Wolf, who is in the Giants organization after he was released. And Isaiah Green, who is still in our minor leagues, but he's 23 years old. And I think he's a top 20 prospect, like maybe. But like, you give all that up for Fran. I know he had to sign a huge contract and all that other kind of stuff, but that's where, like, if I've learned one thing about baseball over and over and over again, if you have the chance to go get a star player, giving up prospects doesn't do a lot for me. It really doesn't. I would take the proven guy all day, every day. You think the Mets regret any part of that trade, the money or what they gave up? Absolutely not. And Andres Jimenez is a great player for us. He is. He's going to be here for a long time. But, like, there's no world of me giving up prospects that I'll ever be concerned about that. Over and over again, I think it just plays out that way. But foul went for the Guardians. This day, 2018. I miss Jim a lot. But he dropped the Chubba Wubba Hub. This day, 2018. Browns beat the Falcons 28-16. Nick Chubb had a 92-yard touchdown run, which was the longest in Browns history. And Jim dropped the famous Chubba Wubba Hub. This day, 2018. Baker threw 3 touchdowns, and then he said, woke up feeling dangerous after the game. God, wasn't that fun? Wasn't that fun? That was a fun time for football this day, 2018. This day, 2017, number 13 Ohio State beats number 12 Michigan State 48-3. Mike Weber had 2 rushing touchdowns. JT Barrett threw for 2 and ran in another 2. That was obviously we were 2. We lost to, was it Purdue? Purdue or Iowa? Somebody beat us and we fell down. We climbed our way back up there, beat Michigan State this day 2017. This day 2017, Hugh Jackson just loved Terrell Pryor for some ungodly known reason. Mary Kay reported this day 2017 that the Browns tried to trade back for Terrell Pryor. He went to Washington and they tried to get him back and Washington wouldn't give him up. Like, why? Hugh had this thing about A.J. McCarron. He has this thing about Terrell Pryor. I don't know, but probably for the best. It didn't work out this day, 2017. This day, 1997, Columbus announced the name of their NHL team as the Blue Jackets. Do you know where that name comes from?
Something to do with the Revolutionary War?
Civil War. The Union soldiers would wear blue, and Columbus had a big part in that, so that's where they came up with the Blue Jackets. Tough West Coast trip for my guys, but they're fighting. They're trying their best they can. Dukes of Hazzard did their car jump this day, 1978. They shot it for the opening scene of the show. Do you even know Dukes of Hazzard? You know the show, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they jumped the car this day, 1978. This day, 1946, the Knicks played their first ever game at Madison Square Garden. Never been. Driven past it, but never been in. What do you think's the best? Is that the best NBA arena? It's got to be, right?
I've only been to the Cavaliers. So
it's got to be the best arena in the world, right? Saturday! Madison Square Garden, let's go! Stipe, baby! I'm putting a large wager on him to knock out John Jones, and I'm going to go through the roof when that happens.
I hope, man.
I'm telling you, don't listen to me about the Falcons and the Saints game. Set that aside for him. I feel it right here. I feel it in my core that he's going to knock out John Jones, man. Just oh my God, please let him do it. Please. I don't ask for much in sports. At the lie, I ask for a lot. Please, God, let Stipe knock him out. Please. God, I love that. That'd be the crazy thing. They played at Madison Square Garden this day, 1946. They say 1918 is Armistice Day, which ended World War I. Armistice Day, they say 1918. Very happy birthday goes out to former Indians outfitter Corey Snyder, Mark Sanchez, Fuzzy Zeller, Vinny Guadino of Jersey Shore fame, Demi Moore, and the great Mr. Leo DiCaprio.
Is it Demi?
Yeah, Demi Moore.
It's not Demi?
It's not Demi. I've always understood as Demi Moore. I shouldn't say the great Leo DiCaprio. Apparently he's best ever Leo DiCaprio role. What's his best one?
Ooh, man, there's lots to pick from.
Okay, my instant gut is Shutter Island. Because that was so damn good. The Departed is a close second for me.
Very good.
Titanic, you set aside. What's Eating Gilbert Grape? That movie is just so sad.
Yeah.
And then Inception is good. I really liked him in the one where
Blood
he's...
Diamond?
No. He's the nerd, and then he sleeps with that weird movie that just came out on Netflix a couple years ago.
Don't Look Up.
Is that it? Yeah.
About climate change.
Yes, that one. Who did he sleep in that movie?
Yeah, no, I know.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Dude, we forgot. Okay, and then The Revenant, which,
Revenant.
like, that one, I know everybody
won
said.
his first Oscar.
Well, everybody said he's literally crawling to win his Oscar. The Revenant is a good movie.
Yeah, very good movie.
It's a very good movie.
Tom Hardy's fantastic.
He is so good. And then, of course, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Don't Look Up. Who was the... I'm sorry, I'm derailed on this. It wasn't Jennifer Lawrence, was it? Kate Blanchett.
She was in the movie, yeah.
She was in it. Kate Blanchett's the one I'm talking about, though. Leo DiCaprio, Jennifer Lawrence, Rob Morgan, Jonah Hill, Mark Rylance, Tyler Perry, Timothée Chalamet, Ron Perlman, Ariana Grande, Kid Cudi, Kate Blanchett, and Meryl Streep were all in Don't Look Up.
Wait, the star-studded cast?
Quite the one. Django Unchained, The Great Gatsby, Wolf of Wall Street.
Yes.
Blood Diamond, The Aviator, we forgot about. Oh my God, Gangs of New York. Should we do this? Should this be our bracket, or you want to do the one we were talking about? What do you want?
I like this one.
You like this one? All right. But here's the thing. Can we get 16, though?
Yeah.
you want to pull it up and we'll write it in as we go? You want to do that right now? All right. No, I got 2 movies for you to guess on. You ready? Number 1. Actually, ironically, they both came out this day, 1994. So the first up, this is also another film in the streak that we've been on. Will get watched a lot over the next couple of months. You've said it already. Mentioned the other ones.
Nightmare Before Christmas?
No, good guess, but no.
Santa Claus?
The Santa Claus is correct. Okay. Does this look like a little weight to you? And then this day, 1994. It's a gothic horror film based on a 1976 novel of the same name. It stars 2 of the biggest actors ever in one of the few times that they've been in the same film. And in fact, one of these actors is in the news today because there's a new trailer out for yet another of his movies.
I'm trying to think of the movie. It's coming out.
So they just released a trailer this morning for a movie that they've revived this series, and they've made like 8 of these movies. The main character in that is named Ethan. Ethan? Yeah. At least I'm pretty sure. I don't watch these movies, so that's why I don't know. Yeah. Ethan. Ethan Hunt is his name.
I don't recognize that.
Okay, all right. The film series, the one that is coming out, is going to be the 8th installment.
Can you just give me that? Is that going to give it away?
We're running out of time. I'll get to you. So Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning is coming out. So that's Tom Cruise.
And what year?
1994. Film chronicles their time together. So Tom Cruise and this other really famous actor.
Is the other actor Jack Nicholson?
No. Good pull, but no. They're more about the same age, these 2 guys.
It's not Top Gun?
It's not Top Gun. Chronicles their time together in their turning of young Claudia into what they are and their pursuit of her. She is played by Kirsten Dunst. What? You might not get
so
this.
2 actors in the 94
Brad
movie.
Pitt. Brad Pitt is the other guy. Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise are in this movie.
In 1990.
Yeah. Nothing?
I don't think I've ever remembered them in a movie together.
They play vampires in Interview with a Vampire.
Oh, I've heard of it.
Where they try to turn Claudia's Kirsten Dunst. There is so much, like, pedophile vibes because she's young. She's like a little kid. And I was like, little kid. She's young, and they're trying to turn it a creepy movie. Not a Interview with a Vampire. This day, 1994, with the Santa Claus. All right, you want to fill the bracket out then real quick before we get to our parlays for tonight?
If you want.
Yeah, do that. Because I just want to talk through it while I have Leo's thing up. All right. So we're going to shift in honor of Leo DiCaprio's birthday. We're going to do your favorite Leo DiCaprio role. I'm telling you, man, we haven't done the bracket in a while.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, there it is. All right, pull it up. You do what you need to do. Here, let me do this. Let's run through Thursday night, or Monday Night Football. All right? Rams are 2.5-point favorites. I'm taking the Rams, no question in this one. Tyreek Hill is questionable with a wrist injury, and they think he's going to play, but he's not healthy. That's not good. So keep an eye out for that. Tua has struggled in night games. He's only 3-9 in his career against the spread in night games, and he's actually lost his last 5 against the spread games in night games. It's good for Devon Achane tonight. When Tua starts, Devon Achane has 23-plus fantasy points in all 4 games that he's had Tua. But when Tua faced teams with a 500% winning percentage or greater in night games, he is just 2-6 straight up and 2-6 against the spreads. Obviously, even with Tua coming back, Miami is struggling. For you flip over for the Rams, they get Puka back. They get Cooper Kupp back. They've not really missed a beat in this one. The thing that you got to watch for tonight, and they really like this from OddsShark, go ahead and take DeMarcus Robinson over 26.5 receiving yards. You want to know why? in the 2 games that even that Puka and Cooper Kupp come back, D-Robs have at least 35 yards in both of those games. So you think Puka and Cooper come back, they can't, not gonna throw it to everybody. They like DeMarcus Robinson for that. Rams are 7-1 in their last 8 home games, so that should help last night. Dolphins are just 1-3 in the 4 games back since Tua has been there. The thing, Dolphins get no pressure. They only have 10 sacks in 8 games. They've lost Chubb. They don't have Jalen Phillips anymore. That'll be fine. I know Puka got ejected last time. Not a problem. Cooper Kupp was targeted 14 times by Stafford, 11 completions. Watch those guys pile that up here. The over-under is 48.5. One of the betting places, they do a lot of the stats. They like that up to 51 tonight. So I like the over, but specifically I'm going to take the Rams minus 2.5. Ryan, can I interest you in either one?
I'm going to go the Rams because I need a Cooper Kupp touchdown for my fantasy team.
Take it for what it is. All right. Oh, Cavs. We'll read the Cavs one in a second. Let's get to our bracket. Let's fill it up. All right, best Leonardo DiCaprio movie. Inception, number 1. Departed, number 1.
Shutter Island.
Shutter Island's got to be number 1.
What's our other one?
I'm just going to throw it out of Gangs of New York, The Aviator, Django Unchained, J. Edgar. He played J. Edgar Hoover.
We also forgot about Catch Me If You Can. That's
in there, too. Wolf of Wall Street, Revenant, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. You want to put Titanic? I don't think it deserves to be a number 1 because I'm not going to vote for it, but Titanic.
People love them some Titanic.
I know. We're going to put this one in there, too. Have you ever seen the Romeo and Juliet movie with him and Claire Danes? Claire Danes is so hot in that, by the way. Great movie. I love the take on that. It was awesome. All right, second seed. You got to go.
Gangs of New York.
Gangs of New York has got to be a 2 seed. Thank you for putting it there so I can vote against Titanic. Thank you. The Aviator probably should be a 2nd seed. Right? Okay.
I'll put Django.
Django Unchained. Wolf of Wall Street's probably got to be a 2nd. Right? That's got to be a 2 seed.
Yeah.
Okay, put that somewhere. The Revenant has got to be a 2 seed.
I feel like we're forgetting one. That needs to be a 2 seed.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
No.
Don't Look Up?
Nah.
The Audition, Wolf of Wall Street, Django, J. Edgar, Inception, Hubble, Blood Diamond, The Departed, Aviator, Catch Me If You Can, Gangs in New York.
Okay, now let's go to the 3 seeds.
We already got all our 2 seeds?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. What don't we have yet? Oh, What's Eating Gilbert Grape? That borderline should be a 2 seed.
Gilbert Grape?
You never heard that?
No,
you never
I've,
seen that?
I've seen it.
What's Eating Gilbert Grape?
When he's really young.
Yeah.
And it's him and Johnny Depp.
Right.
Yeah. Mom's obese, right?
Yeah, it's a sad movie. That's tough. I mean, I guess these are all going to be tough.
Whatever. I mean,
just put Gilbert Grape. Basketball Diaries, Quick and Dead, Total Eclipse.
What are we? We're missing something.
Catch Me If You Can. That should be a 3 seed.
Yeah.
The Aviator should probably be a 3 seed.
What is that even about?
Howard Hughes. It's about it's about Howard Hughes. Did he play Orson? Oh no, I always want to think about it as Orson Welles, but he plays Howard Hughes.
All right, we need one more 3 seed. What are we missing?
Blood Diamond.
Okay.
Shutter Island.
No, that's a 1 seed.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm just Inception, J. Edgar, Django, Great Gatsby.
Yeah, that can be.
That movie kind of sucked, but
it can be a 4 seed.
Yeah, that's fine. You got to put Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. See, here's the problem: is I'm gonna vote on these like what movies.
That movie's
I like.
Not that good.
What?
Once Upon a Time.
I like it. It's not. I'm not a huge Tarantino guy, but I thought that was
Tarantino,
solid.
It's not that good.
I guess that's a problem. Is you're I don't want to say one of the best.
Well, we'll put it in. I'll put Once Upon a Time.
I don't know. I feel like you're getting bothered because there's one we're missing, and I don't know what you're searching for.
Once Upon a Time, Titanic, Kings, New York, Blood Diamond, Great Gatsby.
So we need 2 more 4 seeds.
Yes.
Let me look at what we got here.
Read his discography.
I literally am. Filmography. Yeah.
Filmography.
All right. I'm just literally going to go in order the whole way through. Critters 3, Poison Ivy, The Boy's Life, What's Eating Gilbert Grape, The Basketball Diaries, Quick and the Dead, Total Eclipse, Romeo and Juliet. I would like that one put in there, please. What? All right. Marvin's Room, Titanic, The Man in the Iron Mask, Celebrity, The Beach, Don's Plum, Gangs of New York, Catch Me If You Can, The Aviator, The Departed, Blood Diamond, The 11th Hour, which is a documentary, Body of Lies, Revolutionary Road, Shutter Island, Hubble, another documentary, Inception, J. Edgar, Django Unchained, The Great Gatsby, The Wolf of Wall Street, The Revenant, The Audition, Before the Flood, short film documentary, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and Don't Look Up.
Okay, then we'll put Romeo and Juliet.
No, I really think J. Edgar deserves to be in there.
Okay.
Because he starred in that. It's about J. Edgar Hoover.
It's called J. Edgar?
It's just J. Edgar. So I want Romeo and Juliet. The only other one is Don't Look Up.
No, I'd rather have Romeo and Juliet.
Oh, we got one more. Oh, okay. So yeah, what are we missing?
The only one it was one of the earlier ones you said I would consider putting it in.
Marvin's Room, Titanic, Man in the Iron Mask, Quick and the Dead, Basketball Diaries.
Basketball Diaries, but that's fine.
Okay. All right. Well, I think that's a solid 4 then.
Yes.
Or solid 16.
Yes.
Solid 16.
Yes.
There we go. Got it done. So go vote at Matt Fontana Show.
Well, it doesn't go out until tomorrow. Monday.
Oh.
Because
we usually ask for it.
Right.
And we just did it.
But we didn't need to ask for this one.
Well, no, we didn't need to ask for this one. You're right. We could have just done it tomorrow. Sorry. I'm all thrown off my days. Well, nonetheless, we'll have that ready to go for tomorrow, which I appreciate. All right.
Colors of the Flower Moon also there.
Was that what the one you were thinking
That's
of?
what Marshall said. I haven't seen it. It's one of the newer ones.
It just came out last year,
Yeah.
so that's why I hadn't seen it either. I have not seen that one either. All right, we'll roll with that. We'll get it done tomorrow. Cavs! I like them minus the 8 tonight. I do. I think they've had some battles. I think they'll smoke that out, especially if Zach LaVine doesn't play. That'll help. So we'll both take the Rams. We'll get it done with the Cavs. We'll hear from Stefanski later today. We're back for a Tuesday edition tomorrow. Same time, same channel, same all of it. You can go follow on Twitter, X, at Matt Fontana Show. Instagram and YouTube channels are all up at Big Play. We appreciate your support. For Ryan Tyler, I'm Matt Fontana. We love you at Fairway Ford. And as always, take it easy.